Hey guys, and welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm Christia DeShields. Julie Dunn from Fifth Third Bank is joining me now in the studio to share some of her tips for buying and selling a home. How are you, Julie?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I'm the mortgage executive for Fifth Third Bank in St. Louis. So I have a team of loan officers that originate home loans for the consumer.
Great. Now, how long have you been in the home business?
I have been in the mortgage industry for 16 plus years.
Wow, so you have a lot of experience.
I do.
And you've seen the market go up and down and up and down. What has changed in the last 10 years?
You know, I'd say the biggest change in the market is the availability of credit for the consumer. If you look at the market 10 years ago, it was really driven by lenders who had a really high appetite for risk. That really pales in comparison today, where we're dealing with lower appraisals, we're dealing with a diminished consumer demand, and just a much lower risk appetite by the investors.
Now that consumer demand diminished, can you explain that a little bit?
So just the ability for those to be able to get approved for loans. A lot of the loan programs that you saw 10 years ago aren't even available now. And the ones that are left, there is considerable risk layers that have been added to those programs. So what that means is the loans that are out there now takes a little bit more time, a little bit more tedious process to get approved for a loan, and the consumer, quite honestly, just isn't prepared to provide all of the documentation that it takes to get a loan now. The days in the past of getting a quick, easy, and sometimes even paperless transaction, those are in the past.
Right.
And I'd say that's the biggest change right now.
Wow. Now, for a while, people were saying, you know, now's not a good time to buy, now's not a good time to sell. Why is now the time?
Now is the perfect time to buy. And the main reason is interest rates are still at historic lows. Closing costs are very negotiable, very low closing costs, which gets you in the door. There's a lot of programs out there to help buyers get in the door with little to no money out of pocket still. And quite honestly, purchase prices are still down. There's a lot of inventory on the market, and the purchase prices we see are still fairly low. When it comes to refinancing, once again, still a great time because rates are at an all-time low. We're seeing values increasing a bit, so there is an availability to get equity out of your house at this time to make improvements and such. So that's a great need that you can fill with the refinance. Lowering your monthly payment is still an option for a lot of people, and significantly impacting the terms of your loan.
Great. Now, I know you've been in the business for a very long time. You can give us a few tips. What do you look for when you're looking for a lender?
Well, the mortgage industry is a very competitive industry, which the buyer can use to their advantage if they're prepared to buy.
Now, when you say prepared, what do you mean prepared?
So a consumer should really do their homework. And by doing their homework, there's a couple of tips that I can give you that can really help you be a very well-educated buyer. You need to look for a loan officer that has experience, that has training, and that is certified. I'm not sure that you're aware, but loan officers now have to pass an exam and become licensed by a national registry in order to be able to produce loans.
Wow.
So it's very important to ask for those credentials to know that you're getting a reputable loan officer. Next thing that you need to look at is the stability and security of the institution that they're working for. It's really important to know how your loan is going to be serviced after you close on that loan. And then the very last thing is just to educate yourself on the process itself. Really understand as a buyer the steps to going through an approval process. Know what documents to ask for. Ask for the good faith estimate. Ask for the truth in lending disclosure. These are things that every lender should provide to you in writing in advance.
Great. Well, these are very great tips. We got a lot more coming up with Fifth Third. You guys don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back with STL TV Live.